St. Pete has a pretty big beach volleyball scene.
So now we're seeing athletes, not only juniors, but high-level Olympians and professionals that will travel to the area.
If you're someone right now who's saying, you know, I need to get to the gym, I need to exercise, but you just can't find the motivation, community of beach volleyball is there for you. You're going to get a workout.
It's unmatched. It's so healthy and so great for you to be out in the sand, to be out in the sunshine. It's the best.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Talkin St. Pete. I am your host, Ryan Bogdan, and before we get into today's amazing guest, I want to let you know this episode is sponsored by Bogdan Homes. So if you know anyone looking to buy, sell, or invest here in the greater Tampa Bay area, please let us know. Find our contact information in the description below. And now on to our awesome guest. We have Tyler Penberthy, who is a coach at Volleyball Solutions and is helping shape the volleyball scene here in St. Petersburg, which is huge. We talked about that earlier before we got onto the show. There's the great, you know, as we've talked to folks, there's so many awesome communities here, and Tyler's here to tell us today about volleyball and everything that is brought to St. Petersburg. So welcome to the show.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Huge fan. Been getting more, trying to be like a local in the St. Pete area. So trying to keep in touch with all these local businesses, and, you know, saw the podcast pop up on my algorithm, and just stoked to be here.
It's so cool. You know, we're so grateful. So we have to do a celebration, but as these are pre-recorded, folks, in case you didn't know, we are not live. And we just crossed 1,000 subscribers today. So we're super grateful for all of you that have been following. Super organic. It's happened faster than we anticipated. So for those of you that are watching, sharing, liking, doing all the fun things like Tyler here, he reached out to us. So we're super grateful, man. And so tell us, like, how long have you been in St. Pete?
Sure. So I was actually one of those folks that came down from New York State during COVID. So one of those folks that I feel like there's been more than a few of us that have came down now from New York State to get to some warmer weather. No state income tax, right? Doing all that good stuff. And
no shame, dude.
That's
no
right.
shame.
Yeah. So when COVID happened, I was pursuing my MBA at the University of Buffalo. School went fully online. Didn't really have much of an option. I said, why am I in Buffalo? You know, like the restaurants are closed down, the bars, you have to order food to get a drink, like all these COVID precautions. And so I said, I would love to go play volleyball in warmer weather. So I ended up making the move down to St. Pete for about 6 months, from January 2021 to the summer of 2021. Finished up my MBA at the University of Buffalo, and then ended up making the full-time move back last August. And it's been one of the best moves I made. I was over in Orlando for about 2 years, and I really enjoyed being in Florida, was working full-time, playing volleyball, doing all the things, but the 2.5-hour drive to the beach, beating the Tampa traffic, you know, early on a weekend morning, I decided to cut out the middleman and just head over to Tampa Bay.
Come on over.
That's right.
St. Pete welcomes you with a big warmth. So we're about on the same timeline in terms of how long have we been here. So you were playing volleyball. When did volleyball come into your life?
So growing up in Buffalo, New York, I was always a hockey guy, right? I grew up with an ice rink in my backyard that me, my dad, and my brother used to build every single year. That's cool. Like a 30 by 100-foot rink. And hockey's a religion up in Buffalo, right? It's our main sport. People love it, play it year round. But indoor volleyball also has a really great community. Actually, one of the better U.S. national team players, Matt Anderson, is from Buffalo, New York, and is a multi-time Olympian. Really one of the best players to do it. That's came out
indoor
of Buffalo.
or sim?
For indoor volleyball.
Okay,
yeah.
good.
And so our indoor has a really good community up in Buffalo. And so that's how I started playing. Yep. So we had modified, which is 7th and 8th grade volleyball. Then New York State is lucky enough to have indoor boys volleyball, which not every state has. Yeah. Actually, Ohio and Michigan just recently approved boys indoor volleyball for the high school level, which is great for the growth of the sport. But I started playing, I was an indoor middle. And so this is typically the biggest, tallest person that you have at the high school, right? The most unathletic one that has to do a lot of blocking, doesn't do a lot of passing, you know, see ball, hit ball kind of thing for an indoor guy. And so that's really how I got started playing. I went to SUNY Oswego, which is a state school in upstate New York, played collegiate club there, right? So didn't pursue D1, 2, or 3 volleyball, which are pretty competitive and limited programs as they are. And then once I got out of school, I was looking for fun hobbies to do outside of work. And I said, you know, I really like volleyball. And Syracuse, New York, where I moved after SUNY Oswego, just happened to have this amazing facility that had 12 sand volleyball courts, a full bar, cornhole leagues,
So was this
concerts.
your first time getting in the sand?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Yep. And so this was back in 2016, 2017, where I was like, you know what? We'll give 4-on-4 volleyball a chance, or 6-on-6 co-ed, right? Go out and meet some new people in a new city. And that's really how I got into sand volleyball. And the more I kept playing, the more I realized, wow, this is a really fun competitive outlet for myself. And I challenged myself, played 2-on-2, and I was like, this is great. This is so much different than being that big clunky indoor middle that just sees and hits the ball. Now I get to pass, I get to set and do all the things.
The game is totally different.
Exactly.
From indoor to sand when you're just playing twos.
Yeah, so indoor is typically 6-on-6, and sand competitive is usually 2-on-2. But most of the intramural formats or league formats for amateur athletes can be anywhere from 6-on-6 co-ed, 6-on-6 men's on the beach, to 4-on-4 to the professional tour, which is 2-on-2.
Which that's when the fun really starts.
That's when the fun starts. That's when the heart starts pumping. You know, you really get into it.
Definitely, because there's no. I mean, I do not play at nearly the level that you guys play at, but I do really enjoy sand volleyball, beach volleyball, 2v2, because it's like there's no question of who's got the next hit.
That's right. That's it. You get 3 hits per side, right? And it's you and your partner, and you're looking straight across the net at the other team. Yep. So there's something very personal and competitive about playing against 2 other people that you more than likely know, right? Yep. Since it's a pretty tight community. And just the aspect of being physically engaged in the sand. Exercising in the sand is amazing for your joints, your bones, your overall health, and especially down in Florida, where if you're playing out in the heat on a summer day, I typically burn anywhere from like 3,000 to 6,000 calories when I play a full day tournament.
Wow.
You are just exuding so much energy and so much effort on every single point that even if you're playing recreational level, it's so healthy and so great for you to be out in the sand, to be out in the sunshine. It's the best.
I believe that. I believe that. So St. Pete has a pretty big beach volleyball scene.
It absolutely does.
So
at all levels.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. How much history do you know about that, and why is there such a draw here to St. Pete for the volleyball?
Sure. It's definitely the sunshine and the weather from the beach volleyball perspective, and the amount of parks. I mean, I think St. Pete was just rated to have one of the better park systems in the country, and the available facilities that we have. So not only sand volleyball courts, but just green space in general, right? So the city supporting local clubs and sand volleyball courts, and then youth players as well, has created this movement to where there are multiple nationally affiliated coaches. There's top tier professional players, and then there's also a youth movement and adult movement that continues to want to play and learn to get better. And now that there's more opportunities for those players, such as women's collegiate D1 beach, which is now new. So now young girls can earn a scholarship to go to college to play beach volleyball, which is just so phenomenal for the sport.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. That's really cool. And so we talked a little bit before that North Shore Park, those that know it, near the Vinoy.
That's right.
Right? North Shore Park is like the mecca of beach volleyball in terms of just the hangout, the community. I mean, how many people would you say out there throughout a week are playing beach volleyball?
Man, it's every night. It really is every night. And that is like the quintessential beach volleyball vibe, right? Sun's going down, the airplanes are flying overhead from the airport. You can see the pier, it's just perfect weather. And so how it works at North Shore,
let's talk about this.
There's a whole system, right? It's for
those that don't know, have walked
system
by and seen a bunch of flip flops hanging out near this.
That's right.
Tell us about that.
So typically, there's 2 co-ed courts, there's 2 women's courts, and then 2 men's courts. And usually it's workup, and so you have to win on the bottom court to advance up to the top court to play the winners, like king of the court style. And so you go up and you put your flip flop down. The one closest to the pole is the person that's next. And so when the bottom court finishes, they'll say, we need 4 new people for the bottom court. And so they'll pull the first 4 flip-flops that are in line. And so those 4 people will go and play together. So usually you go and organize. You say, hey, buddy, let's go play downtown, right? I'll meet you there at 6 o'clock on Tuesday. They used to be the big nights. And so then you go down and try and see how many games you can win at North Shore. And it's a test of how good you are compared to the local community, because anybody can come down. You got snowbirds like me that would come down and go and play at North Shore, versus the local pros might be out there, or it could be somebody who's just visiting town.
Has no idea what they're getting into.
And it's volleyball at the end of the day, and may the best man win, or woman, right, at the court. And the other really fun part of that is that it's more social than anything else. You're in one of the best cities, right, to play beach volleyball. just flat out in this beautiful night, and you can meet new friends and get exercise and have a healthy release, for all that tension that you built up during the day at work. And like beach volleyball is just such a great activity for folks in the area.
And then that sense of community.
Yes.
Which has been the theme throughout this podcast and all the different communities that we talked about. And the volleyball scene is, it's people from all different experiences and backgrounds and ages and heights and shapes and sizes.
That's right.
And then coming out on that court and just putting everything behind them and just focusing on one point at a time.
Yeah, that community aspect. So I coach for a company called Volleyball Solutions, and we're one of the organizations, one of many, that coaches adults in the area to run leagues and train them in classes and train them how to play beach volleyball the right way. And community is really the center of the company, right? So meeting new people in a social setting, enjoying the volleyball, enjoying the sport, and also getting better at the same time, and continuing to meet people and grow this St. Pete volleyball community is just the one thing that I love most about coaching Volleyball Solutions are the great people that come and learn how to play beach volleyball and then continue to get better so I can see the progress.
So who's the typical person who's coming to Volleyball Solutions, right? Have they played a couple games and then they're like, oh, I need to, it's like going to the golf pro? Is that, you know what I mean? Like, hey, I realize that this whole 2v2 thing, I don't understand the right way to set.
That's right.
Or get,
you're definitely
my serve
we're
is
cheaper
not the
than the golf pro. I'll say that.
Yeah, right.
But usually it's people that just moved to the area. They're looking for fun activities, so they'll check like Facebook, they'll check Meetup, right? And so a lot of our new people and players come in through Facebook, and so they'll join the Tampa Bay volleyball page where we post frequently about our intro level classes. So you could be a complete beginner that just wants to learn the rules of the game and come out for an intro class. You could be a more advanced level player, come out to an intro class, and we'll put you in a men's training group like I had this morning as well. Or we could have competitive 4-on-4 leagues so that if you want a more social feel and just have like an intermediate level of play, we have that too. And what's really great through Volleyball Solutions is they're offering a one-time 20% off code for your first class. So if you go to volleyballsolutions.com/intro and use code Tyler20, you'll get 20% off your first class, which is great because you can come, check it out, see if beach volleyball is for you. If you love it, keep on coming back and meet our amazing community that we have at Volleyball Solutions.
Love that. Look at that, folks. Tyler dropping bombs for you, giving you some discounts.
Welcome.
Yeah. Support the community. Yeah, that's great. Just selfishly now, I want to talk about this men's thing that meets in the morning out there because that sounds majestic, perfect. And I work out early, so I like the idea about this. So what's your coaching style like? What are we doing? Are we running drills? Are we just playing? Is it like, hey, you need to turn your body this way?
That's right.
Yeah.
So for our 2-on-2 group, these are players that have the basics nailed down. They know the rules and they're working on getting better. So with the end goal of probably playing a tournament. So there's different levels of volleyball all the way from B to open. So it goes B, double B, A, double A, and open, right? And so you can find your level that works best for you. And there's tournaments on the weekends that follow that format as well. So our players that train with us are usually double B to low level A. So right in that, we can bump set pass and spike consistently, right? We can serve consistently. We know the rules. We know a little bit of strategy, how to play in the wind, so we're not complete beginners. So we'll usually do a dynamic warm-up. We'll get into some ball control, so passing back and forth, throw in some challenging aspects. I used to train with a lot of Brazilians in Orlando, and so there's a lot of fun drills that get your heart rate going, start jumping over hurdles, right? Pass the ball 3 times, go dive, go up and hit, like really getting into it. And so we try to add in fun, new drills and challenges for these players to continue to push their skill set so that they can get better week over week. So that's our men's group that meets now on Wednesday and Friday mornings. And then we also have a men's league Friday nights. So this is a great activity before, if you want to go out to the bars, right? Or go out and hang with your buddies for a little bit. Starts at like 6 o'clock. They play only games for 2.5 hours in our leagues. And then, that's it. That's a great Friday night.
I love it. It's so much fun because I was just playing the other weekend with a bunch of friends, and just you have to be so present.
Yeah.
That's what I'm all about. What activity is going to make me be here now
in the moment?
There's no time to think about anything else, or you're missing a point.
That's right. Yeah. And the other my favorite part about beach volleyball is then transferring those skills into going to play tournaments on the weekends. So SSOVA, or Sunshine State Outdoor Volleyball Association, runs tournaments all down the coast of Florida, on the West Coast. So they'll run at St. Pete Beach, Treasure Island. We are just down in Siesta Key, Anna Maria, all over the place, running competitive cash volleyball tournaments. So you pay cash to get in. Certain levels, such as open, will pay out cash prizes for first, second, and third. Other lower level divisions or junior divisions will either pay out cash or have, prizes like t-shirts or hats or balls or any sorts of gear. And those are really the most fun days, right? Because you're spending an entire day at the beach, more than likely in the good weather, meeting some new people, just really enjoying the day, but also in a competitive aspect as well. So that's really the culmination of all this work that we're getting our folks, not only at Volleyball Solutions, but people that play pickup at North Shore, is to go play a tournament and to hopefully win a tournament. And winning an open level tournament in Florida is kind of it's a status symbol, right? Like, you've won an open level tournament, you're a good player in Florida.
That's I like the sound of that. There's this, a way to consistently get better and move your way up the ranks.
Yeah,
and
there's levels to it.
Right.
It's like with anything else. And, the governing body of volleyball is called AVP America. So the Association of Volleyball Professionals, AVP. And they run grassroots, grass and sand volleyball tournaments across the country. And so if you play in Florida and you're like, wow, I'm really great at this. I love playing. I want to go play more. Go play in your hometown back when you're home, right? Or go travel to play a tournament. And now that's where I find myself, is playing on the amateur professional level circuit for beach volleyball across the U.S.
That's really cool. So are people coming here for those tournaments from out of state?
Yeah, absolutely. And especially during the wintertime, not only for training with certified coaches such as Pri, who coaches over at Optimum, which trains out of North Shore. She just got the head coaching job at USF, which is huge for their women's program. LT Truman is a certified Brazilian coach who trains at B Volley, which is over at Woodlawn Park. And so now we're seeing athletes, not only juniors, but high-level Olympians and professionals that will travel to the area to train with these coaches because of the weather, because of the courts, because of the coaching, opportunities that we have. We are making St. Petersburg a real landing spot for top-level beach volleyball. And it grows up from the grassroots efforts, right? Like we're doing at Volleyball Solutions.
Yeah. It's
amazing. It's so cool to see.
It is. And it's fun. It's all happening here, along with all the other amazing things that St. Pete has to offer. And just, lift up another rock and look underneath, and you find this community of volleyball players that are kick ass, right? It's not even just like
that's it,
just all pickup. So let's talk. I'm curious. This ball, you see it everywhere, and it's to me, it's an expensive volleyball, right?
That is.
So what makes a good ball over a cheap ball? What's the difference?
Sure. So that is the official ball of the professional tour. So the AVP, so you can see the logo right there.
Yep.
That ball is about $65 to $70 retail, and that's what they use at all levels. There's different balls that they use for international, but if you're looking for a volleyball, spend the money and get that one.
So why?
This lasts better in the sun. It's the official ball. They sell replicas of these that are about $40. They're more plasticky. They're not very quality. Yeah. This ball has a really good feel to it. You don't want to be the guy that shows up at the court that has the fake ball if you're going to do it. I'm telling you, buy the real one. Yeah. It's worth it. Spend the extra money.
Yeah. No, I know from playing with a bunch of different balls, right? You're nothing like a plastic ball, and you bump it, and
it hurts too, right?
So bad.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah.
So these are a little bit softer. They handle the rain pretty well. We tend to get a lot of rain here in St. Pete, and so in those afternoon, you can still play through the rain, and it still handles pretty well. But that's the ball.
That's the ball. Look for it.
Yeah.
Look for it. And so you have some sponsors as well.
That's right.
Okay, who's this on the hat?
So this is Lost Traveler Company. So they're based out of the Northeast, and so they've been our main clothing sponsor for this year for myself and a partner.
Okay.
So usually when you play professionally, you're either playing with a partner that you've committed to, or you can bounce around and pick up different partners. And so this is based on the amount of points or your ranking in the international or in the national scene, right? And so Lost Traveler is the official sponsor for myself and my partner, Carlos Jimenez. And so we've been traveling, playing all the professional tournaments this year. So they give us custom branded shorts, have some really amazing gear, and these beautiful hats that are almost like melon hats, just really awesome stuff. So they've been our title sponsor for this season, hooking us up with all this awesome gear so that we go to tournaments, we look good, play good, feel good, all that good stuff.
Man. Show up. You gotta look good, play good. Yeah, I love that. It's so true, and that's cool. You have them backing you, at this level, and you can see, okay, as we progress and our skills get better, other opportunities and doors open. That's I'm all about getting 1% better every day, whether that's in business, life, sports, whatever it is. And so to be surrounded here in St. Pete, I mean, there's so many communities of people that are always trying to better themselves, no matter what community you're in. Whether that's business, whether it's in volleyball, whether we talked about pickleball earlier. I'm thinking of just all the as those that have listened. My mom, shout out to my mom. She's gonna love this. She says, Ryan, you need to get a T-shirt that says "Talkin St. Pete." Has all the things, because everyone's always on here going all the things.
All the things.
It has all the things.
That's right. Yeah. And the one thing I really enjoy about the beach volleyball community is it's a really great group of human beings in general and a better group of athletes. But we're continually to support each other, continuing to train. So I train usually 2 to 3 times a week in the mornings, have a group of guys that we have a group text with, hey, can you come out and train, right? So this group of continually getting better so that we as St. Petersburg can continue to compete against like Miami, who's another hot spot for volleyball in Florida. Orlando's another hot spot for volleyball. And then it's more Texas, California has always been the best volleyball talent that comes up. And so when you travel to tournaments across the country, you really want to have St. Pete representing, right? So that people know, wow, there's a lot of ballers that are coming out of St. Petersburg.
A lot of ballers here in St. Pete.
That's right.
I know we're jumping all over here, but we talked about Woodlawn there for a second.
Yeah.
And not that I really want that place to blow up anymore.
We don't.
However, there is something special about Woodlawn.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that. So the depth of sand,
That's right.
and I recognized it, but I don't know if I was conscious about it.
Sure.
Until you said it this morning.
That's right. Yeah. So a lot of people, when they play beach volleyball, they go, man, it's really tough to move in the sand. And that is certainly the case at Woodlawn Park. So there's 4 excellent courts there that the academy there, that's called B Volley, one word. And Paula and LT are the main coaches there, and they've done a great job coaching juniors all the way from like 8 all the way up to 18, and have a bunch of kids that have gone to college to play as well. That is their home court, right? And so the beach volleyball tournaments that the Pro Tour runs are mostly on deeper sand. And so the deeper the sand gets, the harder it gets to elevate out of it, the harder it is to move quickly. And when you're playing against better and better players, that becomes a challenge. And so when you're training, you want to try and find the best courts possible to train on. And so those 4 B volley courts are notoriously deep, so that when folks come from out of town, they go, oh, are we in California?
Yeah,
because that's about as close as it gets is that deep sand. So having the facilities in St. Petersburg to be able to train like we're living in California, which has a higher cost of living, higher taxes, right? Like it's kind of cliquey out there sometimes with the volleyball scene as well, versus a welcoming community that we have in St. Pete. Like that's a key differentiator for folks that are looking for their next move based on both work and then also volleyball, which is how I decided to come to St. Pete.
Why do you think St. Pete is so welcoming? Curious from your perspective.
I think it really welcomes good people. Like we have
it's a tough question.
We have like a no jerks rule at Volleyball Solutions, right? So we don't care who you are. If you want to play volleyball, just don't be a jerk, right? And that's what it seems like St. Pete has done too. Like we'll accept you for whoever you are.
Just don't be an asshole.
Be a good member of the community, right? And support a local business, do good things. And it seems like a lot of people that come here want to do that for it. They recognize that culture and vibe that St. Pete has, and then they want to continue to improve on that, right? And that's a really special thing.
It's like it attracts what it is.
That's right.
Exactly. So those that it's really awesome. So other than volleyball, I know that is where you spend a lot of your time, and you still have a full-time job,
maybe too much
in software, which is super. We can talk software forever, but I don't know. We don't want to put people to sleep.
That's right.
What else? In the small time that you have, what else do you love about St. Pete?
St. Pete, oh man, I
love going. What are you doing?
I love going for a bike ride. I live close to the Pinellas Trail in Central St. Pete, so taking my bike from Central St. Pete to downtown, biking along the pier. I like just biking by the volleyball courts and seeing who's out there, right? Just getting a gauge of what's going on in the community, just spectating. That's all. Really, the food and drink scene here is phenomenal in the local restaurants. That's what I really liked about living in Orlando. That was my first foray into living into Florida when I moved from Syracuse. I was like, man, the food and drinks are great, right? The weather's awesome, but too far from the beach. And so then when I came out here, I saw the breweries, all the great restaurants, the parks downtown, and then being able to ride my 1984 Fuji Royale, this massively tall bike, because I'm a tall guy, and so I need a bike that's tall along with me.
Yep.
And so I'm riding that bike around downtown. I mean, it's one of my favorite things.
I love it. I love it. Where do you like to go eat? If you had to pick a couple top spots.
Ooh.
Someone new comes to town, you're like, I gotta take you.
Greasy Mexican is Chile Verde over on 22nd, right next to Mazzaro's. Yep. That place is awesome. That's one of my favorite spots. I'm from Buffalo, so I really like getting chicken wings. So Engine Number 9 has awesome wings. Their sriracha wings are great. I'll go there to watch Bills games. Nice. I'm a huge Bills fan, Bills and Sabres fan. So that's a hot spot. And then for breweries, I like going to Green Bench. That's always a staple.
It's staple.
Yeah. And going to a Rays game, getting a beer at Green Bench. I mean, there's nothing like it. Yeah. It's awesome.
It is a good vibe. And there's good people out there just as there are on the courts. Yeah, no one has said, I don't think Chile Verde yet. That's a new one.
That's the spot.
Yeah,
It's in a gas station or transformed gas station. Right. It's right across from the Wawa. And you go there, and that is the quesadilla. It's greasy. It's good. Get the quesadilla. Yeah. It's phenomenal food. They don't miss. They don't miss.
the food scene here is awesome, and you can't. There's so many spots. There's so many new spots that keep popping up. It's hard to keep track.
That's right.
It really is. Right. I mean, as you go up and down, and there's parts. St. Pete's is big, small, right? Mm-hmm. Like everyone's in the same area, but yeah, there's so many people here. It's kind of crazy.
I just had my buddy visiting last weekend, and he's like, everything is 15 to 20 minutes away, right? If you're Central St. Pete, anywhere from Pinellas Park all the way through like. Anywhere Central Ave, right? Central St. Pete. Yep. You can get anywhere in 15 to 20 minutes. Might take a little bit longer to get to Tampa, an hour after work, but for the most part, just being able to get to all these great restaurants and get to the beach in 15 minutes, but also get to downtown in 15 minutes, it's so unique, and it's hard to describe that feeling of accessibility after work to be able to go do a variety of activities. I also really love paddleboarding. That's another favorite one. Where do you like to go
do that?
We were just up in Weeden Isle this past weekend. Nice. We've done that a few times, going up to the springs, like making a trip out of it.
Right.
Most of my weekends are consumed by volleyball, but when I'm here, I like to stay local and, go for a paddle or a bike
ride. And you have a tournament coming up this weekend.
That's right. Yeah. So my partner and I, Carlos, are traveling to Virginia Beach. So right now there's 3 different levels of the AVP tour. So the professional level tour. There's the tour, which is the bottom level. So this is amateurs and pros that go and compete for less prize money. If you finish first or second, you will get a bid to one of the medium level events, which also usually have qualifiers. And then there's the top tier events, which are called gold events. And those are meant for strictly professionals. So top 16 teams in the country get into those, no exceptions. You can play in one of the middle tier ones if you make it through the grinder that is the qualifier. So the qualifier is the tournament before the tournament.
Oh.
So usually there's 16 teams that get into what's called the main draw. 12 of them get in automatically. 4 will come from a qualifier of usually 24 to 48 teams.
Wow.
So you have to get through a grinder of those matches just to go the next day and play the real pros. So this is the struggle with the AVP tour, right? In becoming a professional athlete, whatever a professional means in beach volleyball, is that you have to prove yourself, just like you do at North Shore, right? With the flip-flop line. You have to prove yourself against other competent, really great players across the country in the qualifier just to go out and make a name for yourself against the true pros that predominantly live in Los Angeles, South Bay, California, right? Hermosa Beach, Manhattan Beach, the true mecca of beach volleyball. You have to go up and play against the big dogs. But that's the fun of the sport.
Well, yeah, and that's how you get better.
That's right.
You know, you can't say, well, it's hard to get into because these people are so... No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You
that's
want
the way
that.
It should be.
Yeah, you want that grind and that competition that's going to push you, beyond your limits. Because I'm a big mindset guy, and I know that we can do a lot more than what we think we can do.
That's right.
Right? And so to be surrounded by top talent, it just elevates your game that much better.
Exactly.
Right? And if you go out there and you get your ass whooped, go train, go practice,
Work harder.
work harder.
Who cares? Work
Yeah,
harder.
that's good. It's going to create character, and
That's
it's
right.
going to take that grit. And the top got to the top. They weren't born good. You know,
have to work
there's some
for it.
natural talent, right? You're tall. I'm not average, right? 5'9" on a good day, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna be some difference there. However, you know, you can still put forth your best effort and put your flip flop out there.
That's right.
And go for it.
Take a chance, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 28 right now, and so I've been playing volleyball for probably 5 years now, like 2-on-2 volleyball training. And I'm finally starting to hit my peak, and I just reached like, you know, top 50 players in the US. So have some status, but then you're like, oh, there's still a long way to go. There's a long way to work and grind and continue to get better.
Top. Yeah, right.
That's right.
Right. Going from 100 to 50 is one thing, but then that 50 to that top 10, that's right. That's a bigger stretch.
All right, so I got a question for you.
Yeah.
International volleyball, right?
Okay.
So in the Olympics are coming up next year. I'll give you 5 guesses for who is the top 1 and 2 teams in the country, or countries in the world.
Countries in the world.
For beach volleyball.
Oh,
On the men's side.
Okay. Can I have
number 1 and number 2? You get 5 guesses. If you get either of them, I'll give you a firm handshake. I guarantee you will.
So it's not the U.S.
Not the U.S.
Okay, there's one guess.
Yep.
Brazil.
Not Brazil. Another good guess.
Because you were talking about Brazil
Correct.
earlier, so I was like, okay,
Exactly.
try that. Man, where else has a lot of beach and a lot of sand?
That's your problem.
Not good. Don't go there. Don't go there. Okay. China.
No. Good at women's volleyball, not at men's.
Okay.
Yep.
Who has tall people?
There you go. That's a good thought.
Who has tall people? I don't know. What am I? Switzerland.
No, not Switzerland. Good volleyball, but not top 2 in the world.
Man, I don't know. This is tough.
Last
this
one.
is tough. Man, Chile.
Chile's another good guess. They have a good team, but it's so mind-blowing right now. The number 1 and number 2 teams in the world, Norway, Sweden,
I was thinking Finland.
and then Qatar.
Wow.
Like, you can really play beach volleyball anywhere.
Yeah.
They have indoor facilities in Norway and Sweden that they play all year round in,
Get
right?
the dump
and they
trucks,
have these,
bring the sand in.
that's right. They have phenomenal athletes. Like, we're blessed in St. Pete that we have North Shore and these beautiful parks and everything, right? But if you build it, they will come. And they are the like hands down best teams in the world. It's so fun to watch. And with the Olympics coming up next year, that's usually when a lot of people get introduced to beach volleyball. They're like, man, that looks really fun. I see that every 4 years in the Olympics. And, you know, now you have the chance to go out and start practicing before the next Olympics.
Yeah, that's wild. You are definitely in tune and ingrained in it. I can tell it's super passionate. I love people that have a passion as you do for that and for the area. You know, it's the love for St. Pete, it just grows stronger and stronger each one of these podcasts that goes by for me, because I get to talk to such amazing people that have such a different viewpoint of it.
Yeah.
You know, it's here's an analogy that was described. I'm reading this book, 6 Conversational Hats. I can't remember, but it says in our life, in our business, or whatever we're doing, right? If you imagine standing on a beach ball, all the different colors, you only see the color that's surrounded by you. Right? If you're standing on red, all you see is red, but there's someone standing on blue, and in their world, everything is blue.
Sure.
You're on the same ball.
Yeah.
But the color and the perspective of everything around you is different. And so through, you know, that's what this podcast is all about, is I'm seeing your ball, which is the beach volleyball world. And then the color around it that is surrounded and how entrenched that is. Whereas someone who owns a restaurant on Central, they're in the hospitality industry. That's all they're thinking about all day long. And so it's really neat to just see, if we imagine St. Pete as this beach ball.
Yep.
And all the colors on it, and everyone bringing their different perspective. It's same ball, but you know, we're all seeing different colors. It's really cool.
I see yellow.
I see yellow. That's it. It's all I'm looking
That's the
for.
ball. Yeah.
Hanging out at Vinoy. That's fantastic, man. So what? I don't know. I'm trying to think where else we can go with this, and what. So we got Volleyball Solutions. People can go get their discount and get that first class sign up, and we should not be intimidated to do that.
Not at all.
You're bringing in all.
We accept
levels.
anybody that has a willingness and wants to learn and is not a jerk.
Right.
Those are the rules. So the intro class is really meant for beginners to come and learn what is beach volleyball, what are 3 hits, right? How do I play? A little bit of strategy, and then from there you can find the best area for yourself, right? If you say, you know what, maybe a league's not right for me, I just want to go to North Shore and play once a week, or I want to go play up at Rec Deck, right, which is this beautiful facility. They have 4 courts, they have leagues, they have darts and cornhole and all these great opportunities too. Or let's say you have kids in the area and they want to get involved. You know, B Volley and Optimum have juniors programs that run out of St. Pete and Tampa. You're in Tampa, all right? Well, there's tons of volleyball over there too, right? University of Tampa, USF, both have women's collegiate volleyball teams. These are great opportunities for young athletes to try something new, get out of your comfort zone, because nobody grows up thinking they're going to be a beach volleyball player. You kind of play a couple sports, try it out, and then see what you like. And then most people find it as an adult. And they're like, I want to do something and not sit on my couch after work. You know, what is that? And meet new people.
Yep. Yeah. So if you're someone right now saying, you know, I need to get to the gym, I need to exercise, but you just can't find the motivation, and maybe you're a little lonely, you need some more friends. The community of beach volleyball is there for you. You're going to get a workout.
It's unmatched.
You're going to meet people.
That's right.
Right. You're going to find a version of yourself that you never knew was there.
That's it. Those are all the best selling points of beach volleyball, right? It's healthy, it's active, it's outdoors. You're meeting new people in a competitive but friendly setting, right? I mean, there really is nothing better than that, in my opinion, for a stress relief. It's
almost like, you know, not to say, but there is this vibe of those that hang out on the beach all day, like the surfer dude vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The beach volleyball, like, it's just a good vibe.
It is a very good vibe. It can sometimes be too good of a vibe. A little bit too much party, but it depends where you go.
Right.
Sometimes it happens at the tournament. You know, there's a players' party, you have a few wobbly pops, and, you know, you find yourself at the beach bar at midnight, whatever it may be. But you can choose your own path and choose your own adventure with that, right? And you're right. That has been the predominantly, like, beach, what's up, dude? Like beach volleyball kind of vibe. But that's what makes it unique and makes it special.
And not threatening.
And not threatening. Yeah, you have the spectrum of characters that are very welcoming to anybody that wants to come try our amazing sport.
I love it. I love it. For those that have listened this far, what should be the word that they comment below?
Ooh. AVP.
AVP.
3 letters. AVP. That's the professional tour.
All right. AVP.
AVP.
Put it out there. If you're still with us,
that's right.
Check it out. Check out, Tyler. Say the website one more time.
So it's volleyballsolutions.com/intro. And then you can use code Tyler20 to get 20% off your intro class at Volleyball Solutions. It's going to be awesome. It's ran by Alex, who's the founder. So she founded Volleyball Solutions 2 years ago, I think yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Which is really exciting.
Yeah.
And she was like, there's no really great leagues. I want to meet people and foster this community. And she's gone out and done it. And it's such a cool environment. There's also local tournaments that you can play. You can find those at avpamerica.com. That's the grassroots organization. And then you can find me on socials at TP_BeachVB on Instagram. And then I also have a YouTube page if you search my name.
We'll throw some of those videos in there and some of these reels as we were talking about that, because you know, just see it. It's just, I could watch the sport all day.
Yeah, me too.
It's fun. It's fun. Well, Tyler, I appreciate you coming on, sharing your wealth of knowledge on the sport of volleyball, beach volleyball here in St. Petersburg, and it's something that I love that part of St. Pete. I wish I could get more involved in just this time thing, but I do want to come out on a morning and watch the sun come up and play and hang out with.
We'll have you out for a class.
Yeah, love that. Love that. If you have made it this far, put AVP in the comments below. Go support Tyler and Volleyball Solutions, and thank you for watching. Subscribe, share with a friend, tell a friend to go watch Talkin St. Pete. Learn more about your local area. I appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you here on the next one. Thank you. That was good. That was good.
Very fun.
Yeah. Did we get a picture?
No.